Welcome to the Wisdom for Life podcast. And my name is David Baker. I get to be your host today. And if you saw the title, it's How to Have Happy Kids. How to Have Happy Kids. Now, if you really saw the title, it says How to Have Happy Kids 1. That does not mean that you can only have one happy child, or the key to having happy kids is only to have one child. Okay, that's not what that means. In fact, it'll really be the actual opposite of that. That means I'm going to teach on it more than 1 week. Okay, I don't know how many weeks, but I don't want to give you 20 points in one setting more than your brain can handle. I like to give you shorter thoughts to let you think and meditate on that, especially when it's involving family, because it's too easy to take so much in and not be able to apply it. So what I want to give you this today on this podcast is some things you can think about and then apply, and then next week a few more, next week a few more. And it really is important. By the way, is there anything that you would like more, your kids would like more, than for your kids to be happy? By the way, the number one thing that everybody wants is to be happy. When you look up, if they could say, okay, if you could only have one thing, what would it be? Some people would say money, but then they know that doesn't technically bring up happiness. So, I could be happy. If I could be happy, that's the number one thing that people want. And by the way, the other 9, the other 9 of the top 10 things people want are things they think will make them happy. I want money, wife, car, this, all the other things. All the other things on there are simply just things they think will make them happy. So the top 10 things, the top 100 things are all included in this. How to be happy. The problem is we try to be happy by what the world says, and the world doesn't know how to make us happy. The world says drinking and drugs and partying and women and this, that'll make you happy. No, you may have some fun for a while, but it will not bring you happiness. It will not. It's called the pleasure of sin for a season, and the pleasure of sin for a season is not going to bring happiness. So let me give you a few things. By the way, I'll tell you where this came from. Okay. This is the oldest sermon that I've ever preached. What? Yep. The oldest sermon that I've ever preached. So, after I surrendered to preach 35 years ago, and I wasn't happy about it. I didn't want to preach. When I surrendered, I didn't want to preach. For the first few weeks, I didn't want to preach. I only surrendered because God was spanking me so much. I felt like he was going to either kill me or make me preach in a wheelchair. Okay, fine, I'll surrender. And I hated that. Was my attitude. I did not want to do this thing. What a boring, miserable life it would be to be a preacher. You can't have any fun. That's what I thought. I'm used to the thrill of racing and jumping out of airplanes and all the crazy stuff there. And man, being a preacher, what a boring, miserable life that would be. So 2 weeks after I surrendered to preach, I woke up in the morning and I was happy. This is weird. How could I be happy? I'm not doing any of the things I think would make me happy. And I got a concordance and looked up the word happy. Happy is a man that does this. Happy is a man that does that. And I was shocked because for 2 weeks, without realizing it, I had been doing every one of those things. Wow. I was floored. And then I realized, I guess God does know more about us being happy than we do. Okay, than we do. So anyway, I put it together, the first sermon I ever preached, and I still use it a lot to be able to help people. It's in some of my books because it's just a great thing, and I want to give it to you and apply it for your children. Okay, first thing to be happy, of course, you got to be saved. Got to be saved. Happy is that people that is in such case. Yea, happy is that people whose God is the Lord. Psalm 144:15. If someone's not saved, it's pretty hard to be happy. You want to make sure your kids are saved. Talk about it with them. Make sure they have on the helmet of salvation, that they know that they're saved. They're protected. Helmet protects their mind. If a child thinks they're not saved or may not be saved, they're not going to live well and they're not going to be happy. My first quote girlfriend, she was 3 years old. We were both 3. In the nursery, I asked Bethany to be my girlfriend. I couldn't say Bethany, and I couldn't say girlfriend. I was excited about it. And we were, quote, boyfriend, girlfriend at church up until we moved away at 12. And after I started to preach, I was back in Columbia for the summer, making sure my friends and family are saved. And I preached at a local church here. This was years before I ever pastored. And she came and we talked that night. And she said, I may not be one of the chosen ones. My pastor tells me because I keep struggling with sin and I just may not be one of the chosen ones. And she was taught Calvinism, which is wrong. By the way, we're close. I know I've said it. On another podcast I do, we're going to be teaching on Calvinism, and it's called the Fundamental Baptist Podcast. If you want to go check that out, we'll be coming out with that very soon. It's a damnable heresy and very, very wrong. But anyway, she didn't know that she was saved because she hadn't lived it. She keeps falling, and so she wasn't going to be happy. You can't be happy if you don't know you're saved. Make sure you understand salvation. Make sure you understand eternal security. Okay, if you're just listening to this, you need to know why. Go to the website 5-16-30.com. Make sure you're saved. 5-16-30.com. Make sure you're saved, and then go to ijustgotsaved.com and watch the lesson on eternal security. You need to know, your kids need to know they're saved. By the way, if your child got saved early, you need to remind them of the date. Have them go through it. Where are we at? Where are we at? What did you see? Who said what? What did you say? What did they say? The brain of a child is very much in development, and so they have a hard time remembering those things. And there may come a time when they don't remember it, and they need to get assurance of their salvation. Okay? They don't need your memory to tell them. They need to have the memory. And when that's happened to our kids, sure, let's go. Let's make sure that you remember that you're saved. So I don't want to take too long on that. I know it's very simple, but it's big. Are your children saved? Do they know they're saved? Do they remember they're saved? It may just be as simple if you're sad, if your kid is sad and down and not happy, is he saved? Does he know he's saved? Does he remember he's saved? Mommy, I've been wondering about that. I don't remember. I don't know that I'm saved. Get saved. Guess what? You'll be happy. You're on your way to heaven. And overall, in all of life, no matter what's going on, if I know I'm saved and on my way to heaven, what bad can happen to me? Okay? Number one, they got to be saved. Number two, servant. To be a servant. Wait. I thought the leader, the boss is happy. Servants are happy. 1 Kings 10:8, happy are they men, happy are these thy servants, which stand continually before thee and hear thy wisdom. When you are in a place of service, you're happy. It's a big deal. John 13:16-17, verily, verily, I say unto you, the servant is not greater than his Lord, neither he that is sent is greater than he that sent me. If you know these things, happy are ye if you do them. The servants are happy. Do them. Serve God. Serve other people. Hey, honey, I need your help with something. Mommy, what can I do? What can I do? You're making something. You need her help. What a big deal that is. She's happy to serve. Before they were taught service is bad, they thought service made them happy. Hey, son, I need your help with something. Okay, Daddy. Hey, honey, can you help me? Can you go throw this away for me? Okay. They're taught to please, and service is happy until we start punishing them with service. You did bad. Now we're going to make you work. Now we're going to make you serve. Oh, guess what? We just taught them that serving is bad. That's horrible. You don't punish kids with work. You don't punish them with serving. That's going to be a horrible, opposite, messed up thing for their life. You punish them the way God said to punish them, but you don't want to give them extra chores or work because they're bad. Now serving is bad, and it's a punishment. You don't want that. Serving, working is good, helpful, and they need to do that. So teach them serving is happy. Show them serving is happy. Do not make serving as a punishment to them. That's not going to be good and helpful. When you serve God, when you serve other people, you're happy. By the way, we're all that way. Someone, single mom, side of the road, got a couple of kids trying to put a tire on. You pull over and help her. How do you feel? Happy. You just got sweaty and dirty. But guess what? You're happy. Why? Because you served. You served. You helped somebody. We're made to serve, and our heart is happy when we serve. Give your children a way to serve, to help. If they color a picture for grandma and granddaddy, does that make them happy? Yeah, grandma, Nana, Papa, look what I did. Look what I made for you. They served. They served. Teach them that. It's natural for them until we teach them out of it. Okay. Then a big deal, correction. Getting and taking correction. It's a big deal. What do you mean? You mean that's going to make us happy? That is what the Bible says. Job 5:17. Behold, happy is the man whom God correcteth. Therefore despise not thou the chastening of the Almighty. Yes, kids are happy when they're being corrected. Oh, no, that's not true. Listen, we have 11 children. Did you know that? We have 11 children. We've been through this a couple times. I can ask my wife. There's so many times through the years, a kid, he's not really bad. He's not doing anything horrible, but he's got a bad attitude and he's frustrated. You know what he needs? My wife and I looked at each other and said, he needs a spanking. And you take him away, loving biblical discipline, and give him that spanking. Guess what? He's happy now. He's happy. Happy is the man whom God correcteth. The Bible's true whether you like it, whether you believe it or not. When we know we're not right, when we know we've done something wrong, we know we need a spanking, and after that's over, man, we feel better. Okay? Argue with God. Tell God he doesn't know what he's talking about. We've seen it too many times with our kids. How in the world, if you lovingly, biblically discipline them, okay? I don't have time to go in there. I've got 14 steps on how to do that. If you lovingly, biblically discipline them, you're closer after the spanking and the kids are happy. It's amazing how it works. God made it that way. All right, last one for today, since I hinted about this. How to be happy, or how to have happy kids. I think that's why I put it. How to have happy kids. Number one, like, just have one child. You'll be happy. They'll be happy. Okay. Again, that's not it. I want to give you this. Happy is the man that hath his quiver full of them. They shall not be ashamed. They shall speak with the enemies in the gate. Psalm 127, verse 5. When I'm teaching to adults, look, you need to have your quiver full of them. How many children does God want you to have? There are many people, they're not happy because they didn't have the kids God wanted them to. They're selfish. They live for them. All right, I got my boy, I got my girl. I'm done. No more kids. Ooh, you're thinking living for you. You don't want arrows in the hands of a mighty man to use. And you won't be happy unless you have the kids God wants you to have. So how does that apply for our kids? Okay. One of the things that makes our kids the happiest is their brothers and sisters. I taught in this podcast on kids getting along and getting along with each other. My kids' friends, best friends, are their brothers and sisters. Right now, we got 5 that are married, 3 that are in college, and 3 that are here. And they're not as happy as when they all come together. All of them will be here in a couple weeks. They got a wedding to go to and be a part of, and so they're all going to be coming in. Everyone's excited. Everyone's looking forward to it. How come? Because our quiver's full. Not only is it happiness for my wife and I for us to have our quiver full, it's happy for the kids, because they have brothers and sisters, and they're older ones they love and look up to. The young ones are their friends, and they hang and play with, and they enjoy that. And so I really believe a lot of kids aren't happy because their parents didn't get the quiver full, and they don't have the happiness of the brothers and sisters that they had. They have that one kid who's right close to them, and they're in competition with each other, and they don't get along, and they fight, and we let them fight. And so you're like, oh, sure, I'm glad we didn't have more. No, having more and doing it the right way brings happiness to your children. It really does. If you're younger and you guys are still having kids, hey, don't miss out on that. Okay, don't miss out on that. Having kids is a great, wonderful thing, and the brothers and sisters will love it and enjoy it. And if you teach them and train them the right way, you sure will. All right, so how to have happy kids number 1 is done. We'll give you how to have happy kids number 2 next time. God bless you, and thanks for listening.